What obvious thing did you recently realize? That birds don't live in nests. Nests are just where they keep their eggs. Birds just sleep in trees. What now? This has ruined me. All birds? Pretty much, yes. Even ground birds like chickens and quail will roost in trees when they aren't setting eggs. My grandson just figured out I am his mother's mother. He just can't understand why I tell him we have to ask his mom to do some things. Why can't I just tell his mom we are going to do something? I am her mom, therefore her boss. That's so cute. Reminds me of when my younger niece realized that her half-sister, who does not live with her, was her sister too, just like my older niece is her sister. She was amazed. She told me I saw Daddy and Kay yesterday. We had so much fun. Did you know that Kay is my sister? Reminds me of when I learned my dad was an alien. He's Irish. I was like 4, so thought that meant my dad was from outer space and thus the new baby in my mom's belly would be an alien with 3 arms. My younger sister chirped in with and 2 eyes. My nephew still doesn't understand that his uncle is my brother, and his mom is my sister. He'll go back and forth on it constantly. But uncle is mom's brother. Yes, and just like how you have a sister, uncle and I also share a sister, your mom. Additionally, my niece used to gently grab my mom's arm any time I called her mom and would go, "No auntie, that's my grandma." Yes, I know. But she is still my mother. That's mommy's mom. She's my grandma, not yours. Honey, that is because she is my mother. Your mom and I share a mother. She is mommy's mom, not yours. Oh, you dear thing. That's not how it works. They're lucky they're cute, lol. Editing to fix the confusion I accidentally caused. 3 siblings in this situation. Me, my brother, and my sister. It's my sister's kids. About a decade ago, I bought a Logitech Wave keyboard and mouse combo. Absolutely loved them. Used them both until they wore completely out, which took a very long time. Used some other stuff for a while, and recently decided to replace them with another Wave set. They were exactly the same, except for one small thing. The scroll wheel on the mouse worked differently. It spun freely, rather than doing the soft ratcheting that I was used to. It wasn't a huge deal. In fact, scrolling through places like Reddit was much easier. I could just spin it and let it fly. But it sucked for things that required precision, like swapping weapons in video games. I've been putting up with it for like a month, and just today I realized that the button below the scroll wheel isn't just a middle mouse button. It switched the scroll wheel from soft click to free spin modes. I had no idea and it's made my whole day. Dude, the free spin is like the half the reason I use only Logitech mice. I swear I had a model, MX440 from memory, that would free spin when you flicked it fast, and you could stop at any time and go ratchet mode extremely fluently. No extra toggle buttons, which is what I have now. Well implemented. Ha 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 ha, exactly same story with my Logitech G502. Growing up, my grandparents religiously had a 3 p.m. Pepsi time. Like tea time, I guess, but with Pepsi. Every time we were over there, it happened. We all enjoyed a crisp, fizzy, cold Pepsi. At 43 years old, I was telling that story this week, when I suddenly realized theirs were most likely spiked. My grandmother called 5 p.m. drinky poo time. That's not the time she started drinking, it's the time she switched to brown liquor. She didn't consider clear liquor to be drinking. I'm older than you and I only discovered day drinking during the pandemic. And then I figured out that way more people than I would have guessed have probably been day drinking or taking something during the day way before the pandemic. I've just been out here white knuckling life every day. Don't get accustomed to it, it really is a slippery slope I did not expect to go down. Better to raw dog. Even after hitting rock bottom, you can still keep digging. Turns out rock bottom has a basement. Rock bottom is also an elevator. You can get out any time you like before getting lower. What many people don't know, is if you ride it all the way to the bottom, the first step out onto the basement floor, is through a trap door, going even lower. Do yourself a favor, as things are getting worse and worse, get off at a floor, figure out what the hell you're doing and going, and find a lift back up. Go to meetings, see a counselor, find help. Rock and stone. Soft drinks are called soft drinks BC. They don't contain alcohol. Hard drinks do. I used to think soft drinks only meant carbonated drinks because they felt soft and fizzy on your tongue. Then I saw it on a canister of Kool-Aid and it clicked. Ironically, there once was a variety of Kool-Aid that went pretty hard. Have been bartending for 16 years and learned this right now. That there is a typo on my email and my resume. Somehow it went unnoticed for 6+ months. I sent out resumes once saying that I am an excellent proofreader. I hope you didn't put attention to detail on their lol. Attention to detail. That boxer shorts are the style of shorts that boxers wear. This one made me snort. I kept saying to myself, boxers can't wear boxers because they are boxers. My brain hurts, I need a nap. And now I have a picture in my head of a boxer, dog breed, wearing boxers. That Men's Warehouse is a pun. Holy shit, I didn't even notice it was spelled warehouse cause my mind filled in the rest. Also the Beatles, I recently realized. That Bluey's parents' jobs are at the airport, drug sniffing, and an archaeologist, digging up bones, because they're dogs. Till what Chili and Bandit's jobs are. Till Bluey's parents' names. Haha, I love this. I only just figured out Lucky's dad's name is Pat and not just Lucky's dad. In the Pass the Parcel episode, Bandit says it's not the 80s Pat. I was more excited than I should have been. When getting an eye exam you are asked which looks better, 1 or 2. If they are identical or too close to call, you have a third option. The same. They never told me that. My eye doctor always said 1 then flipped to 2 and asked if they were any different. Cool dude. I hate eye exams even with that option. Always feel like me actually getting good glasses is down to my snap decision making, not my best quality. I feel like they're trying to trap me in a lie. Pipe cleaners aren't just for arts and crafts. They're also for cleaning pipes. I'm 35 and oh so ashamed of myself. When I was a kid I always wondered why they called them pipe cleaners because the only pipes I'd ever seen were i.e. bigger than them, household drain pipes etc., and thought it was stupid to make them so small. I was in my 30s when I found out they were for tobacco pipes. Same. I had this bizarre image of a person cleaning water pipes with a sad tiny stick. A friend of mine had his pipe and he said I need something flexible with like bristles that can, ooh. Stripper poles rotate and are not fixed. I always just assumed the dancers spun around the fixed pole through incredible body strength. Many women who practice pole as a sport do so with a stationary pole. You can still be amazed. There are both kinds actually, fixed and rotating. Kinda like the Logitech mouse. 20,000 leagues under the sea is referring to distance and not depth. Edit, yeah, sorry I meant horizontally and not vertically, it's all distance. There's an old SNL sketch about this, where Captain Nemo keeps reiterating it means distance and the crew just not getting it. I think you just confused me. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is a novel by early science fiction writer Jules Verne. Initially, this poster thought that the submarine in the novel went 20,000 leagues underwater. 20,000 leagues is over 100,000 kilometers, so it's not actually possible to be that far underwater. However, it is possible to travel 100,000 kilometers while being underwater. 2020 wasn't 2 months ago. No kidding. And 20 years ago was 2003, not sometime in the 70s or 80s. Oh gosh, it's been squints 3 years. Couldn't be. 3, maybe 5 max, years ago was the 2000s. You do not have to make the entire box of pasta all at once. That can't be right. This is my favorite thing on the internet today. Impossible. Eminem calls himself Eminem because his name is Marshall Mathers. Till. He was also required to spell it out prior to a record deal so he didn't get sued by M&Ms. I didn't realize that in the song I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus, the dad was in a Santa costume, and mom wasn't committing adultery with a magical, fictitious old man. Merry Christmas. Your mother's a whore. You know, I was today years old. I spend too much time choosing to be negative when I could really be happy. After a vacation I had a major attitude adjustment and applied to school in the town I visited. Suddenly debt doesn't depress me, cause I'm accumulating it for reasons I know are worth it. In the past few weeks I've journaled mostly optimistic things, and today I realized I had spent over half of the journal talking myself into a deeper hole. I can't unwrite it now, but that just makes me value the pages I have left so much more. I don't want my life to be a journal full of sad thoughts. I want to be happy. Today was an oddly good day at work, and all it took was some reinforcement from my boss and coworkers, which they gave me because I've been trying to make all my interactions positive, making a little more effort to be relaxed and less worried. I've stopped thinking that being professional and having that pretense will get me anywhere, so I'm dropping some of the uptight facade and just rolling with things. So I'm not solving every issue before it happens, so I asked the wrong people a question, so I forgot to follow up on something, so fucking what? Still getting shit done for others. I'm too old to stress out the way I've always done. I know that feeling. Changed my life. That if I put my phone in a bright yellow case, I'll spend significantly less time wandering around my apartment muttering, where the fuck did I set my phone? As a person with a bright yellow case, this is not as true as you wish it to be. I just got a tile. I've used it way more for locating my phone and keys in the apartment than for actually locating my lost keys or phone outside the apartment. I guess AirTag can do the same thing? You can use your phone camera as binoculars or a telescope. That Alucard from Castlevania just means Dracula backwards. Felt so dumb for not seeing the extremely obvious. Wait till you hear about Dr. Acula. Let me tell you a story about Ekans and Arbok. Don't forget muck. That they call it footage because film is measured in feet. Oh, I didn't know that. Only in the US. In the rest of the world we call it meterage. Hang on, they don't call it meterage in the US? What do they call mysterious meterage films then? That when a cat comes running up to me when I'm out for a walk, they are seeing me with the same excitement and novelty as I'm seeing them. That realization really made my day. My cat gets so happy when people walking by pay attention to him. I'm tempted to put a little picket sign out that says my name is Bob. I love attention. Please say hi. You should. I don't know any of the neighborhood cats' names, but my husband and I have descriptive nicknames for them all. We'd be happy to call them by their given names. My sister is a cat whisperer. They will avoid me and go straight for her. I suspect it is due to vibes. When I see a cat I react as a dog might. I'm ecstatic to see one. My voice goes all high-pitched and I say hi, aw so cute exclamation mark tilde. My sister reacts with cat vibes. She doesn't care. She barely acknowledges them. To a cat that is the height of polite behavior. They recognize a kindred spirit in her. So if you want unfamiliar cats to like you more, stop visibly caring about them. Exude chill cat vibes, and they'll like you. Sadly I can't do it, I love cats too much. That the phase bottom of the hour means 30 minutes past the hour because the hand is at the bottom of the clock. Oh. Thought it meant the hour was almost over. Wow, I think I just figured out what top of the hour means. The turn your head part of turn your head and cough is so that you don't cough on the doctor. Was probably mid-30s before I figured that out. Always assumed it flexed something somewhere that helped him check whatever he's checking for. Greater than whatever he's checking for. A type of hernia called an inguinal hernia. A hernia of the groin. Coughing, or other forms of strain, put pressure on the bulge that is the hernia and makes it easier to feel. If you have a hernia and didn't know it, you'll definitely know it after this test. It causes a really weird and uncomfortable twinge in your nuts. I must confess I thought the same. Who would have told us? That's on the doctors. That the Houston Astros name comes from astronauts. It's called AstroTurf because it was used in the Houston Astrodome. Fun fact. It's called the Astrodome because it hosts the Astros. That those glass roses you find in every sleazy gas station are crack pipes, hidden in plain view my whole life. Back from when crack.com used to have good content. Lol, never heard of this. My local corner store just sells crack pipes, doesn't even try to class them up. Same at my corner store. People come in and just ask for a setup. It's a crack pipe and a piece of copper dish scrub pad for the screen. Costs like $1 or $2. They keep them under the counter. Will Smith and Jada Smith named their kids after themselves. Jaden Smith and Willow Smith. Why I never put that together is beyond me. Oh damn, good one. Will Smith's first son from his previous marriage was Willard too, although I think it's a family name. I can actually do certain things differently than I've been doing my whole life, and often the new way is better. It was pretty awesome when I realized I didn't have to fold things the way I was taught growing up. Gosh, towels were a whole complicated process. Most important lesson I ever learned was to ask, is this the best way to do this or just the way it's always been done? It pisses off my older colleagues no end when I question their ways, but I've vastly improved so many things in my life by asking it. Sometimes though, those older colleagues crack the code of doing the job just efficient enough to get it done, without being congratulated by their boss with even more work. That lesson really can go both ways, but if you're all buddies, they'll just tell you. Best colleagues I ever had were at a warehouse job, where everyone was an equally worthless aunt to the CEO. Great people who held together through the worst days. Even our direct supervisor came out of his office to help when he saw us struggling. Well, that took an anecdotal detour. But yes, that is absolutely an important question to ask. I fully agree. The royal family is named after Windsor Castle, not the other way around. Turns out it was a bad look for the royals' name, House of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, were being bombed by German aircraft with the same name, Gotha G4, in World War I. Fighting World War I against the Germans didn't look great when the king's name was Saxe-Coburg Gotha. The king, the Kaiser, and the Tsar were cousins. The line in the Bee Gees song is, "And you come to me on a summer breeze and not on a submarine." Well, how deep is your love? 20,000 leagues? Someone above noted 20,000 leagues is the distance they traveled beneath the sea, not the depth they achieved. I was admittedly ignorant to that. Driving through South Dakota with my family, and I was so amazed by the vast fields of livestock. I turned to my husband and asked him how long it must take for the farmer to round up all the cows each night and get them into the barns. My husband laughed so hard. Apparently cows don't sleep in barns at night. That's a better question than me asking if there are wild cows, lol. The cow is a domestic species, so no cow can be considered wild. At most it would be feral. Aurochs, the wild ancestors of cattle, went extinct in the 1600s. Excuse me, what? That there is no cheese in Chinese restaurant menus. As in, Chinese don't eat cheese. Discovered this a month ago. Whoa. Because the majority of people in the world are lactose intolerant as adults. Those of us who eat milk products are all descendants of someone from Northern Europe who had a mutation allowing them to digest lactase even after being weaned off breast milk. Nor cream or butter. One reason why my Asian friends complain that American food is so heavy. Yeah, after being dairy-free, well, still have it like once a week. For a while I realize how heavy milk and butter are. Makes me stuffed up and makes me feel tired. Still won't turn down a good slice of pizza now and then. That my doctor was right. I need to start using a cane and stop being stubborn. So pride literally came before the fall. That the Beatles, the band, and the car/bug, Beetle, was spelled different. This was last week. I've always thought Beetle, bug, was beetle. I have no idea why now. Beetles are the bug, but a musical beetle is a beetle. Maybe will help you remember. Welp, there's my answer to the original question. No, it's the Wonders. Got it, looks like the Wonders. I realize that you have to act to fall asleep to literally fall asleep. I have to tell myself a story. My mind slowly diffs off, then my imagination takes the rest and I pass out. This is after staring at the ceiling for 2 hours, of course. So doom scrolling through Reddit isn't going to help me? Fuck. Continues to doom scroll through Reddit. It's literally fake it till you make it. PetSmart is both Pet Smart and PetSmart. It's a play on words. Shop smart, shop smart. Groovy. Fun fact, when the company was founded it was PetSmart. As the company grew they wanted to sound less corporate and more inviting, so they changed it to PetSmart. Now that I'm an adult I don't need to keep buying my shoes a little too big. This makes me realize that now that I'm an adult I should really buy more expensive shoes. Mine appear to last less than a year before wearing through. A couple years ago I realized pickles were just pickled cucumbers. Not sure why, but I never realized this and always thought pickles were just pickles. Edit. Yes. I know you can pickle other things. In America, though, pickles are pickled cucumbers. The Magic School Bus covered this in 1995. This is me with sweet peppers. I never realized they were bell peppers until recently. Paprika is just them dried out and ground up. The reason lead is PB on the periodic table is due to the Latin word for lead, which is the same root of the word for plumbing, because the Romans made pipes out of lead. The Romans also used lead as a sweetener, famously for wine. Some historians contend that a lot of the madness of ancient Rome was in part due to chronic massive lead poisoning. Plumbum. Plumbum. Birds don't pee. That's why their poo is liquid. Birds do pee. That's why their poop is liquid. It's both. I misread this as it's broth, which, I guess, is also true, but very upsetting. Cloaca. That I had an earbud tip caught in my ear for 4 years. I thought it was something else, like scar tissue. So you're the reason doctors don't recommend cleaning your ears with Q-tips. Oh god, that sounds awful. Can you hear colors now? No, but it did change color to match my inner ear and it was shaped like my eardrum, which is why my doctor didn't see it at first. I thought baby fever was an infection. Also, baby fever is definitely a real thing. I had a friend help me babysit my toddler sister. She's very child-free / feminist / too many people on earth type. Anyway, my sister, who is normally a little psychopath, wasn't feeling good and just wanted to be held. She crawled into my friend's lap and just rested against her chest. It was so cute. After that she was like, I'm still not sure if I want a baby, but I know I want that baby. She actually started becoming my sister's regular babysitter. Would offer to watch her for free, sometimes all weekend.